Hello, hello. Bl'Artagnan here, bringing you Umbral, Equinox, Twilight, Lufenia. We'll be bringing a no-burst, no-synergy team featuring Exdeath, Rosa, and Firion. I'm as surprised as you are that I'm bringing Rosa here, but here we go. I'm using her again. Good for her. Proving her worth. Before we get into this, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know the drill. It's overdone. You've heard it 1,000 times. Probably tune it out, but it does help in terms of helping the channel grow and kind of helping me kind of reach more folks. So I'd really appreciate it. So this stage actually resists magic, but Rosa doesn't really care because she batteries a ton, so that's not really going to be an issue, especially with Firion here providing even more battery. The thinking I had was, well, these guys have shields. I hate shields. You know who loves destroying shields? It's Exdeath. He loves killing shields. Well, if I'm bringing Exdeath, I want some kind of off-turn damage to kind of go with that. Oh, Firion does that. I need battery. And if I had someone who was to provide a 15% bravery fund based on HP damage drop, that'd be great for Firion's trap. Lo and behold, Rosa has once again found her way onto the team, so yeah, there you go. I mean, she still has those competitive auras, and she's fitting in just fine here, even in a magic resist fight, so there we go. Busting out the selfie call on Firion. I like using that right before using his EX for the first time because it gives him such a fast recast charge that he'll be able to use his EX every other turn now. I also wait to do it so that if I have to use an AA for any reason, the aura doesn't immediately fall off. I know some folks I've seen use the call immediately to charge the EX faster, and I think that's a little bit risky. We're of course trying to break them out of order to maximize our off-turn damage. Gotta say, fighting these imps again, I was a little bit nervous because the last time we saw them, they were not fun to fight. They were a challenge. I was still relatively new to the game again at that point, having returned during a Noctis burst cycle back last August. So yeah, it's been about a year. Happy birthday, Bl'Artagnan. And so the last time we saw these guys in I want to say it was December of last year, they were an absolute pain. The orb was a damage race. It was very much, it shows up and then it counts down, and you have to get them to a certain threshold before it counts down, so turn efficiency is nothing. It's all about damage efficiency at that point. Lightning and Sephiroth were king. I remember spending I spent about 10 hours on that fight between the attempts and the crying in the shower. It wasn't actually 10 hours of gameplay, but there was a lot of just kind of dealing with the psychological ramifications of that fight. So it was kind of fun to have them come back here and not be the worst. The orb is just, they have to have a turn. That's it. They don't have to act. They don't have to perform an action. They don't have to debuff you or get cleansed or buff themselves. They just need to act and have a turn. And that's great. We can deal with that. As you can see here, their Calamity Bomber, which was a complete pain the last time they showed up, doesn't have Brave Gains attached to it. And that means we can just debuff their attack with Exdeath and Firion collectively, and it barely scratches us. We are letting them kind of throw their generic buffs up and stuff up, but we're not really worried about them, because if they buff their speed, they take more turns and take more off-turn damage. If they buff their attack, congratulations, you're already at like minus 90% attack at this point, I think. Possibly minus 100, I'm not really sure. It's just not something we're worried about. And of course, if they buff their defense, it's like whatever, like most of our damage is from battery anyway. This probably could have been a pseudo TCC extreme, because you see the Tifa from there. I'll be bringing her in, and I probably could have beaten this without it. The thing is, I'm lazy and don't have that kind of time. You're gonna see this at double speed. This fight takes longer than most, and so I didn't really want to put myself through the pain of recording a half-hour fight just because I wanted to flex without using a friend unit. We have Flex Death for flexing. Flex. But this is the theme I've noticed for this Equinox event, is they brought back some of the most toxic fights in the game. We have the imps, we have the Marilus, we have the Arciella bugs, we have we're going to be fighting those, the Argent Deficients, those stupid bishop dudes. Like some of the most obnoxious bosses that we've seen. And it's like, but they've reimagined the fight to make them not toxic, to make them, something you could deal with. I think part of that might be the brave reductions. I don't know how bad they are. I feel like the gains certainly aren't being nerfed much. But the point being, it feels kind of good and gratifying. Look at that tiny, barely touched us. To be able to just kind of go back and re-experience these fights without suffering through them. We are currently trying to focus A because he has one less turn of, I won't say that's drain weapon, probably it just fell off. We know they cleanse at 50%, so we want to just kind of push them past 50% without having to reapply anyone's LD type stuff, Shocking down that shield, Exdeath dealing tremendous damage. Thanks to a mix of the Kurasame Call improving his splash damage and just the fact that he's at max brave. I think I've said this before, but my general modus operandi is I try to Almaguess when he's at low brave and Black Hole when he's at high brave. Almaguess I think probably has a higher ceiling either way, but you also have fewer uses of it. And it's good to be in the habit of refreshing the Black Hole buff because it can fall off if you're not paying attention. Now, what's next? I think what's next is a Luminous Arrow launch. It's not bad for what was otherwise a pretty basic launch. So we're going to use an AA to push him down so he cleanses, so that we can follow that up with Vortex of Arms. A little bit scary because he doesn't have all the HP, the attack downs that he usually does from the cleanse there, but luckily it missed Rosa and still didn't do enough damage to actually kill us, so we'll take that. I think I said this before, it's probably the same with Leon, basically. With Firion, he's not a third slot unit in my experience. I call him a second slot unit. He usually isn't going to fulfill the main orb requirement or anything like that, but he needs a little bit of support. You need to build around him to make that trap really hit hard and do its best work. But if you do, you get rewarded for it pretty handsomely. Go ahead and bring in that Sephiroth LD call, put out that brave damage. They do need to take a turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them do that now. Reapplying Exdeath's debuffs. I've said this a bazillion times before. I always start with his skill 2 before applying his LD because the poison deals more damage. I'll probably say that every Exdeath fight. And I'm looking forward to that burst weapon which is coming in a couple weeks. Best believe you'll be seeing more of that in this channel. We're making good progress, though. We passed the turn halfway point in 70 turns. We passed that a little while ago, and we're almost two-thirds of the way through the fight. So we're feeling pretty good. As I said, we probably could have just kept this pace and kind of evenly trucked our way to victory without difficulty. Still have a turn left on, or an extra use of Maelstrom, extra use of Drain Weapon. It's all good. Unfortunately, I'm a lazy bastard, and so Tifa is here to do this. Bringing her in, well, they're at 4 stacks of the Kurasame debuff so that we could hopefully maximize the uptime of the 4 and 5 stacks of that. To that end, I decided to summon because hell with it. If you're gonna go to town, you might as well go in a Lincoln, Don't know why I thought so long before hitting Blood Weapon there, but there we go. Rosa continuing to pump out reasonable damage there thanks to the battery and the splash damage. Tifa pumping out unreasonable damage. I probably could have battle cried into her, whatchamacallit there, into her LD, but whatever. Can't say this fight necessarily required optimal Tifa play, Gonna go ahead and use our last round beat rush. I guess I could have brought Exdeath in there, but again, it doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, the shield ate about half of that LD from Firion, but Anyway, I was a little worried that that was going to mess with the HP requirement, but luckily Rosa is a good healer, and we are nice and safe. So yeah, this fight is nearly in the bag. We're just kind of picking up the pieces now with the last 10%. Plenty of turns left, plenty of skill uses left. No scary attacks to worry about. Like this fight was a little bit of a pushover, which, as I said, it was less of a disappointment, more of kind of a therapeutic sort of experience. So, thanks, Quix, for letting us go through this. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, I'll be posting the next run in a little bit. I'm probably just gonna record and post them all 3 of them. Since we're almost at the end, I'm kind of running out of things to say. If you're still listening, which of the 3 fights was your favorite? I'm going to try not to ask that in any of my other videos. Share that below, and I'll know that I have a best friend out there, and that we're best friends now. That's how we're going to do this. Why aren't they dead yet? Jesus. That didn't do it? Oh, come on. Okay, how about you? There we go. Alright, there we go. Umbral, Equinox, Twilight. No synergy, no burst. Might be a TCC challenge, who knows. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Adios.